You've hit play on the Screen Companion, where we'll help you pick something for movie night. Here we are, another glorious episode of the Screen Companion. Although this one is a little less glorious than others, but that's by design. Usually we talk positively about these films. I realize there are movies that we as individuals enjoy that maybe we would tell others to stay away from, or that we wouldn't cop to immediately because we see it's got a lot of problems, but for whatever reason it still spoke to us in some way. We start this ignominious edition with 2001's 13 Ghosts. John, what's it about?
So when Academy Award winner F. Murray Abraham dies while hunting ghosts, he leaves a freaky ghost house to his struggling nephew.
A freaky ghost house.
Emmy Award-winning Tony Shalhoub.
Hot off of wings.
Hot off of wings. When Shalhoub and his family and a sassy black nanny that he hired for some reason enter the house, they try to survive as best they can. Meanwhile, Mar del Plata Film Festival Best Actor winner Matthew Lillard, who helped F. Murray Abraham capture all said ghosts, looks for his money. Also, he can sense ghosts.
Perfect. As you were talking about the awards and how distinguished some of these actors are, it reminded me of that Bruce Campbell story where he talks about all the great elements we're going to put together, and then the punchline is, and that's Congo. Kind of the same thing here.
I almost said Congo for this category, but no.
Obviously, this was your pick, John, so let's start with you. What are all the reasons you should, personally, hate this film?
This film lives and dies by the rule of cool. It is 100% prepared to throw everything out the window for something that looks cool. They talk about all these ghosts. I think the naked chick gets the most screen time of all the ghosts.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, right? Exactly. The rule of cool. They clearly established that like 3 of them are legitimately dangerous, but they still give the naked ghost the most screen time.
And I couldn't even tell with the naked ghost. She's the one that she was trying to kill the lawyer at one point.
But she was like, in total 2000s douchebag style, he compliments her breast.
But he ends up dying in a way that wasn't set off by her.
No, he gets cut in half. Again, rule of cool, he gets cut in half and you get to see one half slowly slide down the glass.
Resident Evil, I think it was the laser grid scene in that, reminded me of it. Which was also good.
Resident Evil came out a year after.
Anderson stole from this movie.
Oh, God. That'd be a whole different podcast to complain about that guy.
When I was looking into this while we're talking about the ghosts themselves, I guess they put as a DVD special feature the backstory of all these ghosts, and supposedly all that information is more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah.
Why do you think they left all the backstory out?
I don't want to keep harping on the rule of cool. Probably pacing or whatever, but that, again, that's not why I went and saw the movie. It's because it's like, oh, these ghosts look awesome. I want to go see them. Plus, who doesn't like Antonio Scarpati from Wings?
But filling in tragedies and character motivations, that can be cool. I like that.
I'm sure there was a poster somewhere that said, the gang's all here, and it had all the ghosts on it or something. Just felt wrong to keep all those backstories out. Like, they basically said their names, their official titles twice instead. It could just be to sell the DVD. If we cut this and have it as a DVD feature, because that was a new technology.
True, but boy, did they shoot themselves in the foot. Andrew, do you feel like there's something as regards to the stinking pile that could be this film? Do you really feel like there's something John is leaving out when criticizing this picture?
It's a very simple story.
Oh, you think there's a story, huh?
There is. They're trapped in a glass ghost house, and they're trying to survive.
Uh-huh.
And
No, you really just described the whole movie. That was it.
Detective Monk, he saves his kids, and F. Murray gets his.
Wait, did he?
No. He gave them a hug, is what he did. Yeah.
He definitely could have just been like, hey, keep your heads down and walk away, and they still would have been fine.
But, I mean, I guess we needed to see him be brave. The only reason why I think they had him jump in there was because at one point, well, they just scripted it to do that. Because, you know, the blades are moving, and then you could tell there was a pause. It's like, okay, he's going to jump in there. Yeah, there's not much of a story. But the thing is it is interesting to look at. I think if you were to do everyone's backstory with the ghosts, you'd be extending the movie by like another hour. If they redid it into a little series of like maybe half-hour episodes, 13 episodes, right? You know, and there you go.
Without credits, I don't think this movie broke 90 minutes. I think we could have afforded at least another 10, 15 minutes to character development.
At the end of the day, it didn't matter.
You mean that aspect or the entire picture?
I think that aspect. I don't need to know what happened with the lady with her head in a cage. I don't need to know. She was just mean and she scratched people. That's all I needed to know. We got some semblance of a history and backstory with the naked ghost.
She was the standout.
I wonder why.
I'm thinking of that scene when she's in the bathroom with Shannon Elizabeth. This was the early 2000s. Let's not forget she was in American Pie. She didn't mind a booby shot. If Shannon Elizabeth actually undressed to take a bath, and then she's naked, and then she settles into the tub right in the spot where the ghost is, you get like boobs overlaid on top of boobs. Creative, at least, you know.
A, I think Shannon Elizabeth, she paid her dues. B, you probably just made the movie more interesting.
If something this movie excels at is that they told the production designer, hey, you go hog wild, okay? And if that's going to be a showcase for this dude's work, and they're not going to really focus on making it smart, then let every other department have their way. And it's like, hey, costumer, put them in the wildest crap you can think of. Screenwriter, give me the weirdest scenes you can come up with, and just throw it all together like a potluck. I'm curious, John, how did you discover this picture?
I think my sister wanted to go see it. This definitely came out on the heels of Resident Evil the game and Silent Hill the game. It came out at the perfect time of, this is going to be awesome, go see it, there's ghosts.
Dude, this sounds like the perfect premise for a Japanese survival horror game.
Yeah, it does.
It could have been on the PS2.
I'd have played it.
Okay, so you actually went to the theater for this, huh?
Yeah. Well, don't have to sound so judgmental.
No, I'm not judging. It's just, that's great. It's great to have you, the living historian, basically. You're Robert Picardo in that episode of Voyager where he's at that museum and everybody else is gone and he's the only one to tell those people what the crew was really like. Do you remember at all what the theater experience was like? Was the mood happy when the movie ended? Were they entertained? Were you entertained?
I was entertained. We were entertained. Small town USA, so I think we're the only ones in the theater. Those of us that went. There was definitely like an entertainment value. It was like, I don't know, Pokemon almost. It's like, oh, which one was your favorite? Oh, that one was cool. Yeah, that one. I was 18 at the time, so the chick with the boobs wandering around, it's just like, this is the best movie ever made.
Is your sister older or younger than you?
Older. They're all older. I'm the baby.
I was hoping maybe it was a case of, oh, Johnny can actually go see an R-rated movie. Take me. And she's pulling on your shirt.
No.
Take me, big bro.
No, it was take me, sister.
Oh, boy. Andrew, how surprised are you that John likes this movie?
Not at all. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, I'll admit, it's a pretty decent time. I didn't not enjoy it. I see the value in it. It was fun. It was short, which is a good thing, and it was fun.
I too am not surprised that John enjoys this. I would say out of the three of us, I'd call John the populist in the group. So if there's anything even mildly entertaining to be found, I think he's going to be the one to latch on to it compared to you or I, Andrew. Now, I haven't looked through our whole catalog of episodes to see if that's really true, but it feels that way.
It's okay to like movies.
What is it that you like so much about this movie?
It's dumb fun. You could just turn your brain off and be like, ah, yeah. I would say for our film degrees, it's an equalizer. Going in, you know, it's just okay. It's dumb of me to expect cinema from this. Let's just turn that off and watch this good time.
I can see that. Young filmmakers especially that might have their heads up their asses about how important cinema is, plop them down to watch 13 Ghosts.
It's basically... That's a very good point. This movie is basically the new metal of ghost horror stories. Alright, I know it's bad, but it's still a good time.
My name is Dennis Rafkin.
You're Dennis Rafkin?
Who's Dennis Rafkin?
My office warned me about this guy.
I know this is gonna sound completely whacked, all right? But just stay with me. I used to hunt displaced spiritual energies with your uncle. I'm sorry? PK agents, revenants, like wraiths. Wraiths, do you have any idea what I'm talking about? That's okay, I'll do this the easy way. Ghosts. Arthur, I used to hunt ghosts with your Uncle Cyrus. Goats? Ghosts! Ghosts, goddammit, listen to me!
I was so on the fence throughout the whole movie, and besides being able to just enjoy a film, I guess the next thing I would want out of a movie is to keep me on my toes as to whether or not I buy into it at all. Because there are moments that I was digging, a lot of stuff that had me going, what? No, let's take a step back. What is this? You know, it had me thinking. This isn't a movie, at least on a first watch, where you can just sit back and let your eyes glaze over because so much nonsensical crap happens on screen that I couldn't help but pause every once in a while and even draw a little diagram for myself. Well, wait, how does this correspond to what happened there? It was fun finding the plot holes. My turning point, when they got to the glass house, my interest went up slightly. But once the awe of the production design wore off, maybe 10 minutes later, by that point I was ready for it to wrap up, and then found that there was still like another hour of the movie to go.
You know, the lawyer showing up, and then the video of F. Murray. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I was kind of like, oh boy. It's one of those.
A lawyer who's clearly evil.
Yeah. The movie opens, it gives you exactly what it's going to be. These guys are hunting ghosts. Matthew Lillard wants to pop some pills. F. Murray is being a bad guy. A bunch of people get killed by a random ghost that they encase in a box. And then it's like, oh, F. Murray's dead, all right. My favorite part of the movie, or at least I think the most artistic part of the movie, was you see Tony Shalhoub's kids playing outside, and he's sitting there with his wife, and then it pans over, and there's like the photos and everything, and then there's all the dialogue, like, oh my god, a fire, and you know, she's dead, and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, the passage of time.
And just the way it goes back to him, and he's still with the photo of his wife, but then there's all these bills say past due, past due, past due. It's like, oh man, they're in tough spots. And then he hired a nanny for some reason. I don't know how he pays her. Once they see the video, it wasn't the video itself. It was the background on the guy's computer. Like behind the video was all that cryptic symbols and shit that mean nothing. And I was just like, I wouldn't accept anything. Well, I guess if you're desperate and they're saying, oh, here's a free house, you know. But once the key goes in and the house boots up, it was kind of like, oh boy, this is going to get even sillier. But there was a slight optimism to it because I like that type of weird stuff. Indiana Jones movies where it's just these ancient civilizations made these elaborate traps and stuff like that. And so I felt like maybe this would be like a house mystery type thing. There's all the Latin on the walls, but they were spells that they were Latin convenient spells, and it was a wild ride after the house.
Independent of everything else, I want to pay 2 compliments to this picture. I was really pleased that the movie started in the middle of action. This is cool, but I hope eventually they'll explain the story and really get into the nuts and bolts. That didn't quite pan out the way I hoped it would. But the second thing, I think this appeals to the sci-fi guy in me and world building. If they've done this in any other story, I've never conceived of it, I've never seen it. But I love the fact that they're like, okay, how do we keep the ghosts in a physical structure? And the fact they do that by putting all the spells, writing them on the floors and everything. I really love that detail. And a part of me was thinking, maybe they'll do more cool stuff like this where they're actually trying to figure out the science or the rules of how you would contain ghosts and how ghosts interact with the physical world. But then there's one part where it's the ghost with all the railroad spikes in him, and he's chasing after Tony Shalhoub, and then they pull up Tony at the last second up to the floor above him. But you guys notice that it was just an open hole that he came up through, so why didn't that ghost just go through the hole onto the next floor?
Good question, man.
He had a lot of spikes in his brain, so maybe he wasn't thinking.
And then because, John, you're the shill for this film, why did F. Murray Abraham need to fake his own death in order to get his nephew to that house? Why couldn't he just invite him over?
Because they gotta add layers to this. Sure, you could just serve a crappy steak, or you could put peppers and onions on that crappy steak.
Whoa, okay. If we're gonna go rule of cool, Abraham isn't dead, and he needs the 13th ghost, and he wants it to be his nephew, Tony Shalhoub. So he invites him out there. Come on, Tony, bring the kids. We'll have some laughs. And then once Abraham knows that the clock mechanism is going to start and the building starts shifting and the exits disappear, have the camera zoom in on Abraham and he can just laugh maniacally. You're all trapped here, and then maybe Abraham goes up into the ceiling on a rope or something so he's out of shot, and it's just the family terrified going, "What's going on? Oh my God, how do we get out of here?" And they just do it that way.
So, after Abraham exits screen up?
Yeah. Because you can only go up from here, fellas. But, joking aside, I would have liked to have more Abraham in the picture.
Yeah, I mean, you've got this amazing actor who knows what he's in for. He's prepared to ham it up like a motherfucker. Give him more screen time.
Is that really a good trade-off, that we have that arguable twist toward the end that he's still alive? No. I want him to be the mastermind who maybe he has TV monitors set up throughout the house with cameras, and he's just laughing at them and harassing them the whole time while they're trying to escape. And maybe he could have scenes with Tony where he goes, "Hey, Shalhoub, you can do whatever you want to do to try to save your family, but the only way you can save them is kill yourself. Kill yourself, Tony. Kill yourself."
I feel like he easily could have just found any person who randomly kills himself powers the machine. He could have easily found some suicidal guy. This movie operates on the rule of cool. It does not operate on, we're looking for an Academy Award.
Become an active listener by joining the Screen Companion. Subscribe on YouTube, hit us up on X, and our Facebook group. Let us know your favorite episodes and what topics or films we should tackle next. Further support the host by buying his novel, Self-Recognition, a futuristic detective story, available on Amazon in print and digital formats. Now, back to the show. Then, what for you is the coolest moment?
I don't know. It starts really cool, like you said.
But that's too bad if you front-load your cool, and it doesn't really get better from there.
I think the coolest moment is when Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard are wandering around with that wall, and it becomes this tactical thing. We get two ghosts coming in. One of them is a monster murder man, and the other one is a monster murder woman.
If a ghost killer is walking around with a knife, why can't she just get it around the edges of that pane to stab them?
She probably easily could. That's why she wasn't there.
That's true. Speaking of people that weren't there, I'm curious, Andrew, did you ever have moments where you forgot that the boy was missing or that Shannon Elizabeth was missing at a certain point?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. Once they were gone, they were just gone until the very end. I wonder where they were kept and who took them there. Did F. Murray drag them? Was he telling the ghosts to drag them? Is there another person we don't know about who's just now sitting in the house after everything that happened? The house blew up, didn't it?
Yeah.
House blew up. So now, is there like another person who just blew up?
The house blew up and all the super violent murder ghosts, who now have zero protection, just wandered away at the end.
They just wanted to go back to what they were doing before. So
they went to Denny's for a late night snack as a group and then just went their separate ways.
Andrew, did you groan at anything in the movie?
Some of the jokes, very early 2000s, with the humor. You know, of course, nowadays movies are they're very quippy. Everyone's too clever for their own good. But early thousands, everyone's like, "Oh, go to the neighbor's house." It's all super sarcastic but overblown. That's the only thing that would make me groan sometimes.
Here's one for you. I grimaced when the black babysitter started playing with controls and scratching them like she was a DJ.
I did notice that too.
I was like, oh no, why? What is this?
I thought that was a little interesting that they went with that direction.
It was a choice.
There's some serious stuff going on, and then you just hear like, wiki, wiki, and then it's her just spinning the tapes. And then she starts just ripping things out, which I thought was like, all right, if you don't know what to do, just break it. I will applaud the movie for that one. That was good thinking on her part.
As we finish 13 Ghosts, Andrew, do you think ultimately it belongs on this episode of Turkeys?
Yeah, no, definitely. In a good way. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It was a shut your brain off type of movie.
Speaking of shut your brain off, 1998's Godzilla. Andrew, what's Godzilla about?
You're killing me.
Godzilla's not in Japan anymore. Godzilla's now in New York City and wrecking things there.
It seemed to me that they were saying at the beginning of the movie that Godzilla was a result of American nuclear testing. Isn't that in the Pacific? And aren't there a lot of big city islands that Godzilla should have gone to before going all the way around to New York City?
I mean, sure, but why not go just straight to the Big Apple? Why start small? Just head for the big time.
Like he got a pamphlet, like Godzilla's just chilling, and he got a pamphlet in the mail, like "I love New York" T-shirt for free, and he's like, "I gotta go."
What route do you think it took? Did it go all the way around the tip of South America, or did it cut through the Panama Canal? Did they mention that?
I am going to imagine that Godzilla cut through the Panama Canal.
There's the scene, he walked over it, but like traffic, there's a line of boats waiting to get through the Panama Canal. I love the idea of him being in line, just kind of swimming. And they're like, all right, fill out the line. And then, like, they don't tell anyone, so when he gets to New York, they're just watching on the news like, oh yeah, that guy.
Andrew, did you see this when it first came out?
Yeah, I did see this in theaters. 98, I would have been 9, so it would have been a family movie. I used to watch this a decent amount at home, too. We had it on DVD, and I actually have like good memories watching this movie.
What are all the reasons that you should personally reject this, normally speaking?
It's a monster movie for sure, but it's done by the Independence Day guy, and he loves his big, disastrous set pieces. Would I normally reject this? I mean, not really. This is something it looks like a decent time. I'm not a dude who's well-versed in the Godzilla canon. I didn't go into this thinking, oh, this shouldn't be it. Why isn't Godzilla fat? Monster movies aren't my favorite genre, but it's Godzilla.
While you were talking, Andrew, I was just imagining John holding his breath, rocking back and forth in his chair.
I know, I just hear him like, did he just call my boy fat?
It might be the age, but there was a lot of weird cliches in this movie. It also felt like the director hated New York City, and this is what that movie was about. How much he hated New York and New Yorkers.
I get that vibe. Something else about the characters. The whole love story subplot between Matthew Broderick and that lady who wants to be a reporter. Talk about being on the fence and then falling precipitously to one side of it. When they reconnect and he says, hey, you left without a word. Yeah, I'm still mad about that. And she says, oh, people change. I'm sorry you feel that way. There's no remorse. There's nothing cute about that meet cute. They just seem like miserable people that should not be getting back together.
Yeah, they clearly established it was her fault. She's just like, well, you're not getting over it. That's on you.
I kept thinking, man, this guy was Ferris Bueller. Why is he such a cuck?
Nobody respected him in this movie. There's that running gag that no one could get his name right, and then he got fired for, I don't know, she got him fired, and yet he's still supposed to forgive her.
He's just the worm guy. He's just the worm guy.
No one respects him.
He's like, I research worms in Chernobyl that have been affected by the radiation and have grown larger than in previous batches. Do you want to see a worm that grows 15%? I'll show you.
He's a sexual predator now.
That's actually where the title comes from. There isn't even a giant lizard. He just calls his dick Godzilla. What is it with Broderick in the 90s and playing all these bitchy roles? Like the cable guy, he wasn't particularly masculine. And then, John, we did Election.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say he was very strong of character there either.
He's getting into a feud with a student. Wait a year, you're not going to deal with that kid anymore.
And I'm really trying to parse it because he did War Games, Lady Hawk. Not that he was super masculine in those movies. He had a bit more going on. He affected the plot more. Is it just that if you're in Hollywood, and I'm not even saying he was super out of shape or anything in the 90s, but if you grow into a normal body, then you're just not really hero material at that point?
That's a weird way to say it, but yeah, that's fair to say.
Or was it just he had a really bad agent who was like, hey man, it's the 90s. Times have changed. You can't be Ferris Bueller anymore. You got to be a little bitch.
Maybe.
You have a point. Because he was also in The Producers, the remake, and he plays that weenie tax guy. He's good at it, like that's the thing. I don't know what movie he first played a weenie in, but then I think that it just clicked for Hollywood. We're like, wait a minute, he's not cool?
But he's also shown he can be a good cocky jerk, and you can't tell me that they had a dearth of that in the 90s. That movies were like, oh, we're not going to do that character anymore, Matthew. I'm sorry. You're going to have to try something else.
True. But he was also getting older, and because I think he does a lot of work on Broadway, too. I imagine this guy was never really hurting for jobs, and he probably always took the ones that interested him. Do you want to play Ferris Bueller the rest of your life, or do you want to play a vulnerable worm guy who had his heart broken, and now he's going to save the day with science and smarts?
Plot armor.
I know you were citing his occupation, but I thought you were calling him a worm.
Hey, with my stuff?
Bravo, kid.
Hello?
Bravo, kid.
Hey. Hello? Hello, that's very delicate. Thank you.
Dr. Nico Papadopoulos?
It's Totopoulos.
Whatever. Come on, get these people off of the pier!
Excuse me, sir, do you mind telling me what I'm doing
What's
here?
your step? Don't talk to anybody. Come on, get them off the damn pier!
What is all this, some kind of spill?
Yeah, something like that.
Look, I work for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, but accidents and spills are not my field.
We know!
Do you know you've interrupted a 3-year study of the Chernobyl earthworm?
Yeah, you're the worm guy, right?
The radioactive contamination in that area has mutated the earthworm's DNA. You know what that means?
No, but I got a feeling I'm about to find out.
It means that because of a man-made accident, the Chernobyl earthworms are now 17% larger than they were before.
17%, huh? Sounds pretty big.
They're enormous. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm a biologist. I take radioactive samples and I study them.
That's great. Here's your sample. Study it.
What sample?
You're standing in it.
John, how surprised are you that Andrew likes this movie?
I think being a Godzilla fan is probably pretty niche, so it doesn't surprise me that this would be the one that a lot of people like. I feel like I should have just guessed that Andrew was going to be a fan of this one. Hopefully that's insulting. I hope that's insulting.
For the uncultured that don't know any better, I'm going to go the opposite route. I can't figure out what is in Andrew's head on this one. I haven't seen this movie in a very, very long time. I know he said he's very willing to suspend disbelief and try to watch a movie on its own terms, at least while he's watching it. But this is such an extreme example. I can only chalk this up to nostalgia, that you got drunk off of it, Andrew, and that's why you love it.
The rose-tinted glasses don't come off for this one.
It might be that. It might be that. There was this one night a long time ago. My mom and my brother were out doing something, I think separately, but it was just me and my dad at the house. And we ordered 2 large, thin crust Papa John's pizzas. And it was like, all right, well, what are we going to watch? Oh, let's watch Godzilla. And as we're watching the movie, we crushed the pizzas. We looked at what we had done and we were like, oh, like, we've never done this before. And we were just both total fatties. But the movie's just a good time. I feel like it hits all the notes it needs to hit. That's why I can't be too hard on it. I don't say this from an insulting place, but it's a Godzilla movie. It's Godzilla. What are you really expecting from it?
John, what parts of Godzilla 98 come off as American additions to the franchise that make it worse than if the Japanese had helmed it?
This was too much about humans.
Amen.
So Godzilla's supposed to be a natural disaster. He's supposed to be this force. So on paper, it's just like, yeah, get the natural disaster movie director guy. But then he comes in and he's forcing all the jokes about New York City. It's just like he hates New York City. At the end of the day, the American military does more damage to the city than Godzilla does.
True. That scene with the 20 Apache helicopters just blowing up more like Godzilla's running nicely and sleekly through the buildings.
Straight line.
Not hitting anything. And these 20 Apaches are just shooting missiles and missing everything.
They're going crazy. Like, we're gonna get 'em, boys! Pow, pow, pow. Also, Godzilla's petty in this. It's supposed to be about man's folly and all that jazz. But Godzilla's like, hey, you blew up my kids. I'm gonna chase this single taxi cab around New York City. I'm gonna plot against these helicopters. I'm gonna burp in Matthew Broderick's face for no reason.
It was supposed to be another one of Roland Emmerich's famous jokes. I hated all the attempts at humor in this film. So damn much.
Why is there humor? This is just an iguana. A hungry iguana.
I agree with you guys on the humor element, but I just feel like that's kind of a big part of the 90s movies. Do you guys just hate this? I'm not a Roland Emmerich fan at all. It's this and Independence Day, I would tell people, there's only 2 movies worth watching. Like, Independence Day had a good amount of humor. Do you guys hate Independence Day?
A little bit.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I think I would after watching Godzilla. I think I would.
I'm perfectly happy not seeing Independence Day again.
Oh, you guys, that's so disappointing. Independence Day's great.
I don't know if I could ever trust your opinion again after this, Andrew.
Ooh, we gotta move that down on the list just on your opinion.
Andrew, this was painful, sitting through this. And it's the longest of the three. Oh my god.
By far, it's the longest.
That hurt the most, was the over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Even as a Godzilla movie, Godzilla just disappears, and it tries to become aliens for a while. It actually becomes Gremlins 2. Yes, they were French, but they're still trained military officers getting eaten, but Matthew Broderick can do a quick jump to get away from little baby Godzillas.
Yeah, but didn't you remember when he was running away from them, he was like, whoa! You know?
Yeah.
That gives him the extra speed he needs.
There's like almost 30 Japanese Godzilla movies, and a lot of them they do attempt to have a baby Godzilla. It's worse. It's somehow the Japanese baby Godzilla is worse, so I want to congratulate this movie for having a better baby Godzilla.
But then it just turns into Jurassic Park.
It does.
A really bad version of Jurassic Park.
Oh, we got the raptors. Yeah, it becomes Gremlins 2. Oh, they're eating the popcorn, or they're at the front door.
Obviously, they spent a bunch of money and it's on screen, but there was nothing about this film that impacted me as a viewer while I was watching it. My mind drifted off to the very first Godzilla movie that you and I covered, John.
Mm-hmm.
And I was remembering, wow, just goes to show you that old movies, man, people shouldn't discount old movies, because that first Godzilla, not that it had my hair on end or anything, but it was a scarier movie than this was.
Yeah.
There was a lot more drama, consequences. Did they use puppets, or was it a guy in a suit in the first movie? I forget.
All of them, until this one, was a guy in a suit. And so in the early 90s, Japan killed Godzilla. They came up with this monster called Destroya. He's going to kill Godzilla, and Godzilla dies. And then Toho says, okay, the Americans now have the rights. They're going to make Godzilla movies. And this movie comes out, and Toho says, okay, no.
Bad idea.
Yeah, America is not going to be making Godzilla movie. And they hastily, the fastest production of any Godzilla movie, they pushed out Godzilla 2000 in time for the year 2000. They don't explain anything. He's back. There's a big alien spaceship that wants to steal his DNA, and he blows it up. And then they make a series of movies. In 2004, they're like, okay, he's 50. We're going to end it this time. And they create a movie. Basically, the plot is Godzilla walks from Antarctica to Tokyo, and he just kills every monster he's ever fought. And at one point in Sydney, the evil aliens, we have a monster he can fight. And they drop this 1998 Godzilla, and he kills them in like one hit.
Oh my god, I never knew this Godzilla showed up again.
Yes.
That is the satisfying conclusion missing from this picture. Well, Andrew, what do you think is actually the best part of the filmmaking?
I think it's just the spectacle of it all. Other than nostalgia, I think that's why I'm pretty forgiving for this one. You watch it because you're trying to see the special effects. You want to see some good CG. For the time, it was decent. Yeah, it doesn't really hold water too much today, but it looks cool. The visuals of the destruction will always be good. I will always appreciate seeing multiple Simpsons actors in a live-action setting at once. That was nice. It is little baby Godzillas, because I thought that was interesting. I also didn't know that the Japanese movies tried it, so I was like, oh, damn, Godzilla's laying eggs. That was like about 1,000 eggs, and that was just way too many.
They would have gone to cannibalism, I think, first. Started eating each other. They could have made that way more horrific.
I watch it for the destruction. When Godzilla finally gets it at the end of this movie, I think it's kind of sad, because they just blew up. All of Godzilla's kids are dead, and he or she wants revenge. All I wanted was Godzilla to wreck things, and then that was taken from me.
Speaking of things taken from me,
2 hours?
Uh-oh. 2 hours and 19 minutes?
when Hank Azaria is trying to film the beast and he survives standing between its toes as it walks over him, how great would it have been if definitively Godzilla was a male and it was just a big cock and balls traveling over Hank Azaria? Revisiting this movie for maybe the third time in my life. Rarely do I say things so definitively, but I can tell you one thing. I am not returning to this movie a fourth time. Never, ever.
Never again.
Never again. How well, Andrew, do you feel like you stick to your own film critic sensibilities?
Sometimes I don't think I stick to them very well, because I try to take things as what I believe they were intended to be, and also word of mouth kind of plays into it sometimes. If a movie's overhyped for me, that'll be a negative, because a big fat, for instance, for me is also hype levels. When I was a kid, I couldn't watch R-rated movies. I had to wait till I was 17. My parents were like, hey, you can't watch R-rated movies, they're not appropriate. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
And John, he listened to them too. He's like, okay, I won't.
I listened to him too, you know?
Yeah. Trust your parents, come on.
Oh, shut up, John. You did that too? You actually listened to your parents telling you don't watch R-rated movies?
No, I'd sneak away for a few.
I was a good boy. 2 movies that came out when I was in elementary school that were hyped up for me until the day that I watched them. It was Gladiator and it was Saving Private Ryan. And Black Hawk Down. I'll mention Black Hawk Down as well. Those 3 movies, when I was in elementary school, everyone thought they were the best movies ever made.
I'm just a year older than you, and I saw all of those in the theater with my dad.
Rub it in, Frank, rub it in.
My point was, like, those 3 movies were hyped to the moon and back when I was a kid. And so when I finally watched them as an adult, for Gladiator, it didn't live up to the hype. I do hold art house looking movies to a higher standard because they're trying to tell me that they're better than everyone else. I will be more critical of them. And the reason why I mentioned Black Hawk Down was because that's also a Ridley Scott movie like Gladiator, and I thought that was really good. And that was overhyped.
That's the key to unlocking Godzilla 98. I think that's how I can reconcile that this movie was your suggestion. All the criticisms I can lay at Roland Emmerich's feet. I don't feel like anything I've ever seen of his would I ever describe him as being pretentious. So I feel like if he was on the show with us right now, he'd be nodding going, "You're right, Andrew. I'm not going for a high art here. Not at all."
That goes a long way with me. Ridley Scott is the perfect example. Tim Burton's a great example, too, of like these 2 directors that are up their own asses real hard sometimes.
Definitely.
When things try to show themselves as more than they really are, that's when I'll be a little bit more critical. But yeah, Godzilla, done by the guy who did Independence Day, I'm not going in with that with sky-high expectations. What am I going to get? A lizard destroying the city. What did I get? A lizard and the U.S. military destroying the city. So I won twice.
Man, Hollywood wishes every audience member was like you, Andrew.
I am the perfect demographic.
Every movie would make $1 billion. They just put out big ads in the paper. We aren't saying this movie is great. Well, as long as I said it up front, then I don't have to really apply any standards to this film. I'll just have fun then.
A real okay time. 5 stars.
Hey man, like, the same reason that we all agreed that 13 Ghosts wasn't terrible was because you can turn your brain off and just enjoy it. Why were you guys thinking while you were watching 98 Godzilla? That's on you.
Hey, for the record, I think 13 Ghosts is a good, bad movie.
I'll give Godzilla some credit. I want to say the first act where it's just Godzilla and they're setting everything up and the initial attack on New York was done very well.
Thank you.
Everything after, where it becomes an amusement park ride.
That's a good description, yeah. John, how consistent are you with what you consider to be a good movie versus your actual tastes? Do you have a lot of contradictions in your film library?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. I don't think I have the morals to stand up and be like, I am a serious film person. Because two of my favorite films are Doctor Strangelove, which is an amazing and critical film, and then Pootie Tang. Also a critically amazing film.
Actually, I see a through line. There's a connective tissue between those two works in that they both get pretty ridiculous at times.
Yes, for opposite reasons.
I've never looked at my film analysis as any sort of cage or fence that I have to stay within at all times. The whole point of this episode, I think, is you just feel what you feel as things hit you. And only later do you go, oh, man, I'm kind of shocked about this, but whatever, I like it. And I would like to do an episode someday about what our cardinal sins are as far as what movies can do to lose us completely. But what didn't lose me, guys, is our last picture, which is Mannequin. Philadelphia artist and stock boy Jonathan Switcher hangs out with a female mannequin that comes to life every night in his department store's window and is only flesh and blood to him. In the sight of anyone else, she turns back to plastic. With her help as his muse, he gains fame as a window designer and hopes to save his flagging store from being gobbled up by a competitor. So I shouldn't like this flick because the plot has a lot of outrageous elements, such as the opening in ancient Egypt. Only in this can Kim Cattrall be an Egyptian. She must have convinced Jake Gyllenhaal he could do Prince of Persia. Then you got the window displays that people are going nuts over. Like, that would actually drum up enough business to save the store. I don't quite buy that. And the characters are really gigantic 80s cutouts. I wouldn't say any of them show any particular depth. Also, for some folks, they're not going to like the stereotypes. The over-the-top gay black dude. The oversexed, was he Italian, I guess? The coworker that was constantly sexually harassing Switcher's ex. Yeah, maybe not the most PC film. I still dug it. John, have I missed anything else as to why this movie blows?
Go get him.
How much time you got? Like, are you fucking with us? It felt like one of those jokes where in the early days of AI, someone would make it watch Olive Garden commercials 1,000 times and have it write an Olive Garden commercial. It's just what it felt like. Right from the get-go, it's animated opening, and then everything is just so cliche in this movie. Like it was a Mad Lib, and then they got turned into a script.
I'm going to build off of John's AI script example. Allegedly, I read this script where someone fed a lot of Batman content to AI and was like, hey, write a script for a Batman movie. And it was Batman versus the Joker, and there was this one part where the Joker gave Batman a coupon for 2 new free parents, and that was way funnier than anything that happened in this Mannequin movie.
I think I remember that. The coupons were expired, too.
Yeah. This is a Joker joke.
How surprised are you that I like this movie?
I was very surprised. The only thing I can think of, in terms of an original premise, this is probably the most original of the 3, because it's way out there. I mean, 13 Ghosts gets out there, but this is just crazy. Because it's just so wacky. The fact that you like it, I think the only thing that saves it is the originality. That, and I'm convinced that you and John, because you both have mentioned this movie a number of times, I think you guys are both huge Weekend at Bernie's fans. That's the only thing I could think of is just like, oh, free Weekend at Bernie's, Andrew McCarthy, like, you guys are in. So, like, that's the only thing I could think of. I was surprised when I read the description of this movie that you recommended it. And then watching it, I'm even more surprised.
How did you watch it? Could you guys find it? I had to, like, buy it through Vudu.
I obtained it online.
Ah, okay. I should have done that, but I don't understand any of that technology.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Wow.
Yeah.
You probably have it on Laserdisc, too, don't you?
If I could find it cheap, yeah, I would.
Oh, God.
Even though I don't really like the poster art. I hate it when movies that I like have terrible poster art.
I almost just watched the second one out of spite instead.
There's a sequel to this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is.
Oh.
It's one of those classic sequels where they recast everybody but pretend they're still the same characters.
I don't defend that movie at all, for the record. We're not talking about Mannequin 2.
Okay, I only read the synopsis because that's the one that came up first every time I searched for this movie.
Actually, you're wrong, John. There is one character with the same actor in Mannequin 2. The gay black guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, here's some reasons why I like this film in spite of all the haters. I like that it is so 80s. I like that the characters, as simplistic as they are, they're very likable. It's hard not to enjoy Andrew McCarthy in a role where he's not being a giant downer, which was like most of his work in the 80s. I like that it's wholesome, considering how many roles Kim Cattrall had done where she had appeared naked. This feels like it would have been perfect for more naked Kim Cattrall, but she never gets naked in this. And at least in one interview, she attributed this movie's monster success, because it was a success at the box office. It was a PG film, and she thinks that a lot of kids came out for it and helped the success it got. Also, this is one point that I hope you guys will agree with me on, even though you two do not seem to be new fans to the Mannequin fandom. James Spader. How do you not like James Spader's performance in this? He is hamming it up. He feels like some version of a Bond villain in that I don't believe him at all as a character, and his mannerisms and how he's just so waspy and he's got that bad comb over. He's just such an asshole, slimy executive type. Andrew, tell me you liked his performance.
It was cliche 80s nerd villain to a T, and he got the biggest laugh out of me when he tried to adjust that lamp and then just knocked everything over and then just walked away. That was really the only thing in the movie that made me laugh that I can remember. He was good. The security guard was kind of funny too, but mainly because I was trying to figure out where I had seen him before.
Police Academy.
Oh, see, I remembered him from MASH. Who is this man? And it's like, oh, it's Rizzo.
John, what did you think of James Spader?
He understood the assignment. He knew what was going on.
Yeah, no, he did. He knew what he signed on for.
I remember thinking, watching his whole performance, oh, this is the guy that was, like, considered weird because he was method in such an odd way. It made me wonder what his method was for this. He stood like an S.
Mm-hmm.
His shoulders were up and forward, and he always had his hand somewhere to make him look perplexed.
If they had made a Simpsons movie in the 80s, they could have cast him as Mr. Burns.
Oh, yeah, he'd be under bad old man makeup, but he would have been perfect.
One of my favorite parts in the movie happens between the security guard and James Spader.
There's something strange going on in the store at night, Mr. Richards. Every time Rambo sees a mannequin, he gets so scared, his little pug tail comes right out his little mouth.
Felix, you were in the war, weren't you?
Airborne, yes, sir.
Did you ever happen to jump out of a plane and land on your face?
Yes, sir. I don't see what this has to do with little Rambo.
Isn't it obvious Switcher is behind all of this?
That skunk.
I mean, a man who is an eternal failure is putting together the most magnificent window displays in this town.
Bum.
I mean, you say you hear voices. There's no one there.
Just him and his dummies.
Is someone helping him? Is he a ventriloquist? Some kind of mad genius?
Good questions all, sir.
Find out the answers.
Yes, sir. What about little Rambo?
Screw your dog.
Since you're on this episode, Andrew, and since I feel like I could tell that you guys weren't going to get on the Mannequin train with me, those big shots of the department stores, the pastel colors, the neon. Andrew, did any of that stuff, or the montages in this, would you agree there's some similarity between this and Rocky IV?
Yeah, this movie is 80s to the T. Unfortunately, I mean that in the sense where it's no substance to this movie. It's just all style. Because there are some shots of the department store that look really good, and the window dressing stuff was interesting. Visually, had some nice stuff going on.
I'm going to give Switcher some credit because the guard was being homophobic and Switcher stood up for him. That seemed a little, I guess, ahead of its time.
It was nice to see Estelle Getty.
Yeah.
As empty-headed as the picture is, I've seen interviews with the two main stars, McCarthy and Cattrall. Shockingly, I thought they would tear this movie apart in retrospect, but it was good for both their careers, and when they talk about it, they always say it was a fun movie. It was fun to make, and as to how much it's got going on, it's fun. I think they understand what it is. Is it possible, do either of you dislike Kim Cattrall in this? She's so damn bubbly. How can you not like her, as empty as she is?
Yeah.
I don't want to say no, but the movie is, I don't know.
In that montage where the two of them are gallivanting around the department store and they're putting on outfits and you got the 80s music playing over it, and it's just one big music video. I mean, that's really all it is. Yes, it has nothing substantive for the plot. It tells you nothing else about the characters you don't already know, but come on, it's just so 80s and fun.
That was borderline desperate for
No, I was just reliving it, and I was feeling it. I was bursting.
Oh, sure.
Can you pinpoint a moment where the movie turned you against it? How far into the picture? Don't tell me it was the very beginning in Egypt.
Oh.
Or the opening title sequence.
It was definitely the combination of those two. I'm sorry.
Really? Wow.
Just a straight up, like, that ridiculous scene in Egypt where she wants to get married for love or whatever, and then, boom, animated sequence. And then you give the rest of your movie, Switchers may or may not be having sex with a mannequin. If you shot this from someone else's point of view, this is a horror movie. This guy's coming in at night, he's talking to mannequins, he might even be having sex with them.
No, just one. It's just one. That makes it worse.
Just one specific mannequin.
It's one.
Yeah. He fell in love with one specific mannequin. It's just a matter of time before he tries to put human skin on this thing.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with being monogamous.
Yes. Like I said, from someone else's point of view, this is a horror movie.
I would love a remake of Mannequin where they played it more seriously. Have the McCarthy role played by Elijah Wood. I wish there's an alternate cut of this film where you don't know if she's real or not, because she's only appearing to Andrew McCarthy. You could go really somber at the end where he realizes he is going crazy and he has to stop, or maybe he doesn't and he goes into that trash compactor with her and then he turns into a mannequin. So I'm not saying this movie couldn't be improved.
Good. Good.
Here or there. Well, I'm not inviting you guys to my 80s party nights anytime soon, because this movie's on the docket.
You really pulled it out with this one.
Yeah, you did.
I lost it around the same time with John.
No way! That early?
The set looked cheap, and then you have Lily White Kim Cattrall playing an ancient Egyptian. It plays out like a sitcom sequence. I didn't laugh. I will say I liked the animated intro. Because I was like, oh, okay, that's some style right there. That's pretty cool. And then it just goes to Andrew McCarthy losing a bunch of jobs. It was funny. But it kind of got back into my good graces for a little bit. But when he saved Estelle Getty from the sign, and he's just swinging on it, I was like, oh, nope, that's this kind of movie. It just shot me right back down to reality.
Whoa, wait. Don't be a hypocrite, Andrew. I have never seen anybody involved in making this movie saying they were going for high art, so why can't you just accept it with open arms like you do that trash Godzilla?
Because when I hear rom-com, I was wondering where's the com? And honestly, where's the rom in this one? Because it is him and a mannequin. It's weird. And I'm not a big fan of the manic pixie dream girl stereotype. Yeah.
His original girlfriend that relationship ended so unceremoniously. Were they even dating in the first place?
I got the feeling it was a really nascent relationship.
Same here. I kind of figured they had just started seeing each other. If she works at the heating department store, why doesn't she try to get him a job if she thinks he's a loser? But, I mean, I wouldn't stick my neck out for someone that I have just started dating, I guess.
I was hoping they wouldn't make any more references to Egypt after the opening, but when she first reveals herself to Switcher, and she even does some of those quote-unquote Egyptian dance moves, all I could think of was a Bangles music video. Oh, don't do that. No, don't make the hands.
That's literally the only thing people in the 80s knew of Egypt was that dance.
I don't feel like I want to ask this, but for the sake of consistency, I will. Andrew, is this a good movie, a good bad movie, or just bad?
It's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. If I was hosting an 80s party, though, I would put it on the TV as, like, background. I wouldn't be like, hey, everyone, let's watch this. It would be something that won't draw attention. That's this movie.
There's way better aid. Like, you're putting on a John Landis movie. You're not putting this on. I don't even think people who do 80s nights know this movie exists.
Well, they will now.
I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due. It is the only Oscar nominee of all three movies. So there you go.
What category? I gotta know.
You know, the song at the end.
Oh.
Nothing's gonna tear us apart or break us apart.
Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship.
Thank you. Yeah. Co-written by Diane Warren. So that's why it was nominated.
I hate technicalities.
Those were the two reasons I wanted to do Mannequin. One, because somehow you guys had never seen it. And two, because it was just perfect for this episode theme. That's good. I feel like we all revealed something about ourselves. Strangely, I think John came out a little bit better than the rest of us.
Oh, yeah. It was a fun movie.
I mean, who says they win with 13 Ghosts? Never has anybody said that until you, John. Let's quickly run through this list of worst aspects. And let's just see which of these movies suck the hardest based on these qualities. Worst main character was in which film?
Mannequin.
Mannequin.
I'm going to say Godzilla. Worst villain?
Now, worst villain as in, like...
Suckiest villain.
Suckiest villain? I'm gonna... Oh, man. As much as it pains me to say, I'm gonna give it to F. Murray.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to F. Murray also. Even if it is a horrible rendition, I still can't give it to Godzilla. I don't know who else would be the bad guy from that movie. And James Spader doing classic 80s villain. You do win this round.
Wow, that's nuts that you guys would say that because I ultimately said Mannequin.
Oh, wow.
So you can't even agree. You can't even agree.
No. Not because I disliked the villainous performances, but because of as far as their effect on the plots. Godzilla caused a bunch of mayhem. F. Murray Abraham built a giant glass house with a bunch of ghosts in it. Mannequin is just a couple of Wall Street assholes, basically. Not as incredible.
Even the way you say that, I feel like you're still wrong on you're choosing Mannequin.
How about the worst love interest?
It's Matthew Broderick, and it's them.
I don't even think 13 Ghosts had a love interest. I guess you could say the dead wife, but that's way past budding love that would be the terrible train wreck that is, Matthew Broderick and his would-be girlfriend.
We'll see if this is the only one we agree on, but I said Godzilla. Worst story.
I'm gonna give it to Mannequin.
Yeah, Mannequin.
I just hope you guys are being honest with yourselves, that's all. It's not going to hurt me, it's just going to hurt you if you don't acknowledge your own feelings, your true feelings. But that's all right, I went with Godzilla. I hated that movie out of these three. Hated it.
You're swimming upriver.
I came to these conclusions before this conversation. I'm not vindictive like some of my guests.
We're vindictive because we came to these conclusions before this conversation also.
How about worst director?
I
would say don't think of their entire body of work, just the directing for the particular picture.
Oh, okay. That is a different answer.
I'm trying to pick between 13 Ghosts and Mannequin.
Come on, the shoddy editing in 13 Ghosts. Just pick that.
That's the editor's fault, though.
Yeah, but the director had some sway over that. Come on.
That director apparently only directed 2 movies. Another one was Ghost Ship, which is the exact same vein as 13 Ghosts.
Oh, man, I wish we'd done Ghost Ship.
I'm going to give it to Mannequin. I will justify it by saying that you mentioned Rocky IV earlier.
Which you love.
Which I do love. But one of the choices that Stallone made as the director, if the director has their hand in editing, there you go. When Stallone uses montage, it does further the story. With Mannequin, it was just, oh, look, they're dressing up. Oh, look, he's playing an electric guitar for some reason. They used montage just for fun. It didn't further anything.
So you did clarify to not look at their body of work. I will give you this. I'll say I think the most poorly directed of the 3 was 13 Ghosts.
And I'm going to say Godzilla.
All right.
Worst ending.
13 Ghosts.
Yeah, the machine explodes, everybody literally just walks away, and the button is sassy black girl, which was so cliche.
Oh, she was so freaking annoying. Yeah, I said 13 Ghosts too. Okay, so the second time we've all agreed on something. Great. Finally, worst movie to subject your loved ones to.
Mannequin.
You guys just want to come after me? That's fine. That's fine.
My wife enjoyed 13 Ghosts. She is 100% on board it's a bad movie. She enjoyed it. She did not want to watch either of the other 2 with me at all.
Oh man, I wish she had.
She'd say Mannequin. She'd say, why did you do this to me?
2 of these movies were 90 minutes. I have to give it to Godzilla. It's just so long, and I don't know what the point of it was. It just threw everything into it, all these subplots. It's got Jean Reno in it, and I'm like, oh my god, thank god, it's him. Oh no. No, he's not really helping this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, this kind of killed his American movie star momentum.
Because when I think of this actor, it's this movie and it's pre-Godzilla, The Professional, and the first Mission Impossible, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Andrew, any final words about the theme of this episode or these particular pictures?
I think it was a good theme. And I I remember a while ago you told me that you can rely on me to challenge you, and I feel like you really challenged me this time with Mannequin. So
You've reached the end of this episode of The Screen Companion. Thank you for listening.